Mental illness is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Weird, right? Mental illness has brought me from a young, timid girl who never would have been here today to a confident young woman who advocates for herself and others each and every day. It has led me to new hobbies, my future career of social work, and has forced me to take better care of myself. Because of mental illness, I once was shattered on the floor, but now, because of it, my life is a beautiful mosaic. It would be irresponsible of me to say all of this without explaining how I got here. At 17, I was your typical overachieving, perfectionist high school student, and my life was very close to ideal, but I wanted to die. The unbearable weight of my own high expectations for myself were crashing down on me. I thought I could handle it all, but after losing 3 classmates to suicide in my final years of high school, I began evaluating my own mental well-being and realized that I was in a very dark place, but totally ignoring it. I didn't want to worry my family or even most of my friends by talking about it, so I held it in until I couldn't. I finally reached out to an adult I trusted. A teacher at my school was actually here tonight. She allowed me to begin opening up about my depression and anxiety and other things that I struggled with, like suicidal thoughts, self-harm, and disordered eating. Shortly after this, I started treatment, which meant therapy every other week and medication every morning. And I wasn't really convinced that the whole therapy or medication thing would fix me. And now I know that I was right. It never could, because I was never broken. I just needed some extra support. So I stuck to this treatment plan all throughout the rest of high school, but when move-in day for my freshman year of college at Temple University came around, I was still in a dark place. Everyone thought I was so excited to go away to school, but deep down I knew that if I went away, I probably would never come home. So that morning, when my mom's van was jam-packed with way too many of my clothes, all of my shoes, I told my parents that I couldn't go. And it was the hardest decision I've ever made, but it was the most pivotal point in my recovery because it was the first time that I actually put my own needs first. So after this, I unpacked my suitcases and I unpacked a lot of thoughts and feelings in an intensive outpatient program, which meant group therapy and art therapy 3 times a week. And it was a very positive experience for me, but after the program ended, I knew that my work couldn't stop there. So I started seeing my regular therapist again every week, and I took my medication every morning. But perhaps most importantly, I started investing in myself. And this was an odd experience for me because my whole life, I had made sure that my life looked good on the outside, but didn't really worry if it felt good on the inside. And during this time, I also learned the importance of a work-rest balance. I had always thought that in order to be successful, I would have to practically burn myself out with hard work. But now I know that rest is just as important. And when I say rest, I don't necessarily mean sleep, although I do love sleeping in until noon. I mean giving yourself free time to do things that you enjoy. So I want you to think back to your childhood. What's the one thing that made an hour feel like a minute? The one thing you loved so much, but maybe an adult told you to give it up in pursuit of something more productive. For me, this was writing. I remember being 10 years old, handing out poetry to my family and friends and loving every second of it. But somewhere along the way, I gave it up. So last year, I decided to get back into it. And it was weird at first, but it's been so helpful in allowing me to process, recognize, and express my emotions. I also started writing for The Mighty, which is a website that allows people with mental illness to share their voice. I've always believed it's so important to educate myself about mental health, but to have the opportunity to help break the stigma and educate others has been so empowering. I can't finish speaking without acknowledging that I'm thankfully in a much better place than I once was. At 17 years old, I didn't see a future for myself. But today, at 20, I'm building it. I'm working on my bachelor's and eventually my master's in social work so that I can help people the way that I've been helped. And although mental illness has changed a lot for me, It hasn't taken the overachiever out of me. I still love school and have just shy of a 4.0. And although I am in a better place, I still talk to family, friends, and my boyfriend about how I'm feeling, and I still see my therapist every week. I'm forever grateful for the support they've all provided me over the years that have helped me get where I am today. My life has been horribly interrupted by my struggles, and I still have awful days. But have I been changed for the better by my illness? My answer is a resounding yes. But if you're not to this point, don't be discouraged. I want you to think of yourself as a rock and your struggles as a sculptor. Your struggles may chip away at you and make you feel like you're losing yourself. And yeah, you may have lost pieces of yourself in the process, but your original structure is still there, just with a new, stronger presence. So don't let your struggles break you, but definitely let them change you. Let them expose the beautiful parts of you that you don't even know exist. Thank you.